Okay, now we can understand what we have inside properties in paint layer and fill layer, and we can use them for now. But there is something that we didn't know about the paint layer. Okay, so in here you can see we have size, which is exactly the size parameter in the brush setting. We have flow, and as you can see, this is the exact flow parameter in the properties window. And we have stroke opacity, spacing, which they are in the properties too. But we have something like distance or lazy stroke brush. If you're familiar with Photoshop smooth brush or ZBrush lazy mouse, you can understand what is the purpose of this feature. But don't worry, we are going to explain that. And it's super easy and very helpful for creating curved line during the painting. Okay, so when you want to create curved line or draw curved line, you can use the distance feature. As you can see, a black circle appears around the brush, and now we can draw the line. But look carefully and understand the concept behind the tool and the feature. So I want to start painting, right? Okay, let's create a fill layer, and I'm going to create a red color brush, and I just click and move the mouse, but nothing happened until the circle across the point that I clicked before. So now I can move my mouse, and as you can see, this is the result with distance feature. And if I want to create that line with that motion and movement in the mouse, this is the result. Okay, so let's look closer. I'm going to create a curved line without distance, and now I'm going to turn on distance and create the exact curved line. The hand is the same, the draw skill is the same, the person is the same, but only the distance feature can help you a lot to draw curved line. Okay, so as you can see, if you increase the distance, the circle is going to be bigger, and you can create a smoother line. And if you decrease the size, the delay time is much lesser, and you can draw faster, but you can have some mistake on the drawing lines. Okay, so depends on the person, depends on the purpose, you can increase or decrease the amount in the distance. Okay, so let's go for the next feature. It's a very good feature. And before moving to symmetry, let's talk about the cursor preview. So let's use an alpha like, for example, this barcode. If you cannot or not able to see the alpha and the material properties inside your brush, you need to check this option here. Maybe you set your cursor to crosshair, okay? Or maybe you just enable brush outline in the cursor. And it's better to have full preview cursor to see what is your alpha and what is your data for the material. Okay, so let's go for the symmetry. For the symmetry, I'm going to load shape, the default alpha for the brush substance painter. And now I'm going to enable the symmetry. Okay, we have two kind of symmetry, mirror and radial. Mirror is just like a mirror one side to another side, but radial is like you can you can use the symmetry feature on a circle around one axis. So we are going to play with the symmetry. Don't worry, we can understand the tool and use this symmetry tool a lot during the project. Depends on your purpose and the form of the object. So what we have here, we have a red line in here, and now you can see I have a brush, and this is the mirror side, okay? And when I draw something, it's going to draw exactly on the other side of this red line. So where is the setting? We can change the setting here, and let's go for the display. And after display, we are going to talk about the symmetry setting. You can turn on show plan. It's a very good option. We can debug the symmetry very easy with this tool. And you can turn off or turn on intersection area, the red line that we have on the surface. And you can change the symmetry color, plane and the intersection line. Okay. And you can decide you want to see the cursor on the other side or not. And when you are painting, it should be appear or it should be hide. So we can use show cursor option to hide the cursor on the other side. And we can use hide while painting option and keep or hide the cursor during the painting. So we have a manipulator or gizmo for the plane, and if we turn on show manipulator option, we can see that, and we can control the gizmo by hovering the mouse on it and move it like this. Okay, and you can change the size with this option. So this is all the setting that we have for symmetry display option. Okay, now let's go for the symmetry itself. I'm going to erase all the data that we have here. Okay. And please remember that we have the symmetry option just when we can paint inside Substance Painter. When you click on a fill layer, we don't have anything related to the paint layer. Okay, you can add a black mask and use paint layer. You can add a paint layer as a sub layer, and now you can access to the feature of the paint. But we don't have it when we are in the fill layer mode. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to increase the spacing to 100. And now let's go for the mirror symmetry option. Okay, we have a simple setting. We can choose the axis that we want. For example, we want to have mirror on X axis. We want to have mirror on Y axis, as you can see. Okay. And we can have the mirror on Z axis. Okay, so let's go for the Y, and this is not a good place for the symmetry line. So what can I do? I can change the position of the plane with this slider, or just I can show the manipulator and select the place that we want to have this plane, and boom, we have this effect right here. Okay, let's go here. And as you can see, we can use the symmetry wherever we want. It's not just like, okay, we should set it on the half of the object or in the center of the object. We can place the mirror symmetry plane anywhere, wherever we want, and we need to be there. Okay, so this is for the mirror, and let's go for the radial. Okay, now for the radial symmetry, we have exactly the X, Y, and Z axis, and we don't have the plane for the radial. We have the axis itself. So let's move up the axis. As you can see, this is a straight line, and we can make the symmetry around this axis. Okay, and you have X, Y, and Z, and we are going to use the Z. Let's put 0.5, the value of the offset, and you can select the count of the symmetry that you want. Okay, this is the 2, so I can make something like mirror. Okay, but we can increase the count, for example, to 8. Okay, and let's just put the angle span to 360. Okay, now we have this kind of symmetry. Very good. Okay, and we can control the circle that we want to have on the symmetry. For example, if we use 180 in the angle span, we just access to half circle, and the count number 8, it means we have 8 cursor on just half of the circle in the radial symmetry. So it's like this. Okay, so we have the control of the symmetry or cursor count, and we have the control on the angle span. So let's put it on 360, and let's increase the count, and let's remove all thing, and boom, we have this kind of symmetry inside the Substance Painter. Okay, this is all the things that we should know about the symmetry option inside the Substance Painter. Let's move to the next concept,